Hi again, Barry here. I'm going to show you another way how sometimes if I want to put a bit of fertiliser into my garden beds, the easy way of doing it. As I said before, I tend to be a little bit of a lazy gardener and I like to do things as easy as possible. This way I can put fertiliser and some mulch on the new garden beds in one hit. And what I've got there in the grey bucket there is a little bit of horse manure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spread it around over the lawn, and then I'm going to run the lawnmower over it. And what it does is it mulches it all up with the grass, and I've got a great topping for my beds. So I'll go and lay a bit of this out, and I'll turn it on when we've turn the video back on when I've got it laid down and show you how it chops it all up. Okay, as you can see, I've laid out a bit of horse manure. There's Penny over the back there getting her 2 cents worth in. One thing to note when you're using horse manure is if you're going to take it from a stable, a racing stable or anywhere like that, you've got to make sure that they haven't wormed the horses for at least 3 months. If they have, you're wasting your time putting it on your garden, because all it's going to do is kill all the microbes in your garden. So if you've got horse manure you're not 100% sure on, leave it out. Let it dry out for about 3 months. First of all, sprinkle a bit of water on it so that it's moist, and then just leave it sit till it totally dries out. As I say, for about 3 months is generally good. What I'll do now is kick the lawnmower over. I kicked it over a minute ago. We had over 100 millimetres of rain here last week, and the lawnmower went underwater. So it took about 20 pulls to start it, and when I started it, just spat water out of the exhaust pipe. So an amazing motor, this little Briggs & Stratton. Anyhow, we'll give her a kick and I'll show you how I make fertiliser. Okay, this is my garden bed that I dug up. Why I'm putting fertiliser on this one, a bit different than the other ones, because I want to put tomatoes in here very, very soon, and a few cucumbers which need a fair bit of nutrients. As you can see, this is cut up fairly fine, and all the manure is mixed in with it. It's only a matter of just spreading it. Now this I will water in, but I won't water it in till tomorrow morning. I never ever water in the afternoon, because when you water in the afternoon and your garden beds are moist at night, if you're having trouble with slugs and snails, you'll find that one of the reasons is because your garden bed's nice and wet, and slugs and snails love moisture. So I never water unless it's in the morning, sorry. This is nice and green also. What this will also do is put a bit of warmth into it when I transplant everything. You can see bits of cardboard and all sorts in it. Doesn't matter. All adds to the carbon content, which breaks down, and it's much better than turning it into landfill. Better for the environment, better for the garden, and much better for your vegetables. You notice I never stand on the beds, and I never put any pressure on the beds. When I transplant into this hole, I'll push it aside more than dig in it, and there's any soil around the roots, that's fine also. I'll leave it there and it'll go into the beds. But that's the only bit of soil that's in it, is what's in the plants, and most of the soil that's with the plants even is compost that we've produced ourselves. Over here I was laying another bed, as you can see. I've got some corn sitting there. They get about 5 hours of sun at the moment, which is not really enough, but I should have looked before I laid the bed, but I didn't. That's where I've laid down the cardboard, as you can see. I'll turn that in a bit so you can have a look. That's just cardboard, and what I've done is I put a layer of vegetables over it, probably about 25 millimetres or so of vegetables. And if you can go to a hardware shop or somewhere like that and buy some bokashi powder, or make your own, and if you would like I can show you how to make that, all the better, because what it does, it promotes the growth of fungi, which is very important. Fungus, all the fungi family, they break down all the solids, and the bacteria break down all the smaller particles after the fungi's finished with it. And we need these little dudes working in the garden, because that's what makes your garden grow. And if we go over the back here a bit more, just for a bit off topic, but never mind. As you can see, it's still nice and wet here. This is why my garden beds are built up 3/4 of a metre. This one over here, we cut a few of the branches off the trees, and what I've done is I've just laid them out. Now they will start to break down, obviously not for a long time, but that's the base for the bed. I'll put a bit of soil over those, and I'll do the same as I've done here. I'll add a bit of grass to it. As you can see, go to our other garden bed here. The sticks that are out the ground there, they're sunflowers. I never pull plants out, I always cut them off. It's a good idea to leave them in the ground, leave the roots in the ground anyhow. You can always cut these off at ground level if you wish. But it's the roots, when they start to break down, that attract all the worms, which we need in our garden. What happens is bacteria starts to colonate the roots as they die off, and then the worms come and feed on the bacteria, and the cycle continues. And it's really important, that cycle. This bed now is 4 months old. We've pulled 30 pumpkin off that pumpkin, believe it or not. There's only one pumpkin there, and it goes from one end of the bed to the back, and then up and back. And every time you lay some mulch over the pumpkin, it virtually becomes a new plant. It starts to re-root again. So don't ever think that once it's got a few pumpkin on it, and you hear it all the time, people say, oh, cut the end off and let them mature. Well, no need, I've never had to do that. And this is still producing, and as I say, it's a lot of pumpkins in a very short expanse of time. And that tomato over there is the same. Now, none of these have been sprayed. They've been watered once, and admittedly we've got a fair bit of groundwater here. But under normal circumstances, in a normal backyard or an average backyard, they probably would have been watered maybe once, max, maybe twice in the 3.5 months we've been here. As you can see, there's another tomato there. That was a clone of that plant over there. Okay, there you go. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.